Socialism and secularism, these two are the positive words for any democracy. But you may wonder that why B.R. Ambedkar and other constitution makers have not included these two words in the Indian constitution. Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today we are going to discuss about socialism and secularism and what is the controversy related with it. So moving to the points of discussion part. So first of all, we are going to discuss the news, and then in this section we are going to discuss that introduction of the preamble of the Indian Constitution, and then we are going to discuss the history behind these two words, which is secularism and socialist. And then we are also going to discuss that was the term secularism and socialist were not part of the Indian Constitution, and we are also going to discuss that has this issue have not discussed before, and after that we are going to discuss practice question for prelims and mains. And this topic is important from GS2, which is polity. So moving to the news part. So Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who is MP from Congress party in Lok Sabha, has raised a serious concern over the Indian Constitution, and he had alleged that current BJP party, which is a ruling party, has attacked on Indian Constitution. And in which manner they had attacked on Indian Constitution? Because on 19 September, when there was an inauguration of new parliament building, on that day they had distributed new copies of Indian Constitution to all the politicians, and in that new copies the two words have been omitted. And which are that two words? They are socialist and secular. So this is a brief concern and we are going to discuss in today's lecture. So moving to the next slide is about preamble of the Indian Constitution. So every constitution has their own kind of philosophy, and preamble is a philosophy of Indian Constitution which has been taken from objective resolution which was adopted by Constituent Assembly on 22nd January 1947, and it is also called as an introduction of Indian Constitution because it contains the basic goal and aim of the Indian Constitution. So this is a brief introduction about preamble of the Indian Constitution, and in the original constitution we don't have this word socialist and secular. So moving to the next slide is about how did these words came to the Indian Constitution. It means that what is the history behind these all two words. So first of all we will discuss about the word socialism. So it is said that we are not saying that, but so many experts and political thinkers had said that at that time there was a rule of Indira Gandhi, and Indira Gandhi wanted to cement its image as pro-image, and because of the pro-image she had also given focus to the Garibi Hatao slogan, eradicate poverty, and she had tried to introduce various measures which seemed to be a pro-image or pro-people image. So because of that she had inserted this word into the Indian Constitution. So this is the basic thinking by any political thinker, and so many opposition party had also said that because she wanted to paint her image as a pro-poor or welfare kind of people. So that's why she had inserted this word into the Indian Constitution. So this is one of the opinion by many political thinkers. So moving to the words which is known as secularism. So why secularism has been added? Because earlier secularism was there in the Indian Constitution, but it was in a implicit form. So Indian secularism is very different from the Western secularism. Here we don't have any connection with the human being with the God. Here we have connection with the human being to human being. It means that state is impartial towards any kind of the religion, and because of that she has inserted this word into the Indian Constitution. And let me clarify you that Indira Gandhi had also said that we have a different kind of secularism and we had also different kind of socialism, because many people have said that they are very pro-Russian kind of people, but she had said that USSR and China had a different kind of socialism, but in India we have a different kind of socialism, which means that nationalization is not a form of socialism. Here we don't nationalize everything. Whatever we feel necessary, we nationalize that thing. And here everything is not owned by the public property. That's why our socialism is very different from the socialism of USSR and China. So these are the basic difference she had clarified into the inclusion of socialist and secular. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about wasn't secularism and socialism were earlier part of the Indian Constitution. So in the fundamental rights, in the fundamental duties, we have this essence of socialism and secularism. But why this particular word has been inserted to the Indian Constitution? Because earlier it was in an implicit form, and Article 25, 26, 27 talks about the secularism, where so many minorities have been given their rights, all the people have been given their rights, and they are free to exercise their religious rights. Minorities are free to open their institution. You can propagate any kind of the religion, and these all rights have been given to the foreigners also, not just Indian. So these all things are in the implicit form, but by adding this thing word into the preamble, which is also called as the introduction of the Indian Constitution, this thing has been made exclusive and implicit that we are a secular country, which means that state has a relation with the religion, but state is very neutral in form and they are not impartial in form. That's why this word has been added to the Indian Constitution. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about, has this issue discussed before? Yes, this issue has been discussed multiple times, and even Supreme Court has also opinion about this issue. So how many times this issue had been discovered? So we don't have exact number, but this is continuous process, and Indian politics, this issue is never old, and this is trending topic in among Indian politicians. So Subramaniam Swamy, who was a politician from BJP party, he had raised question on the word secularism and socialism, and he said that does the Nehru didn't want that India should be a socialist country or secular country, then why he didn't use this word? Does B.R. Ambedkar didn't want that India should be secular and socialist country, then why B.R. Ambedkar had not used this word? But B.R. Ambedkar had a different kind of opinion regarding this. B.R. Ambedkar had said that that people of the country should decide that in which manner their polity and economy should go, and it's on the people of the country that in which manner they will take their polity and economy of that country. So it's the people's right that they will describe that how their economy looks like, how their society looks like. So he had not imposed this word to the people of India. That's why this is a basic philosophy of B.R. Ambedkar regarding this term. But after that also, there were so many petitioners who had filed plea in the Supreme Court, and they had said that these all two words were omitted from the Indian Constitution because they were not part of the original Constitution, and they had this basic philosophy that it is violating the Article 368, which has the power to amend the Indian Constitution. But there are so many controversies related to it, and Supreme Court had also allowed that under Article 368, the Parliament has right to amend the Indian Constitution, but they should not violate the basic principle of the Indian Constitution. So these are the controversies related with this. So moving to the next slide. So next slide also talks about that what is the opinion of Supreme Court regarding this. So in 2008, Supreme Court had opined that we can use the term socialism. And why so many people having this problem with the word of socialism? Because this is not a narrow form of socialism, and we are not following the socialism which are given by the communist principle, and which just advocates the communist principle, and which is advocated by USSR and China. This is a very welfare kind of principle where every poor people are dignified, and this is very poor friendly principle in which last human of the society is also served and taken care of. So because of this welfare policy, the word cannot be omitted from the Indian Constitution, and it gives a positive impact on the Indian Constitution. So this is the opinion of Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has said that this shows the positivity among the Indian Constitution, and it has strengthened the essence of Indian Constitution. Then we will not omit this word socialism from the Indian Constitution. So these are the controversies related to the socialism and secularism. And in original Constitution, we don't have this word, but right now we have this word, and we have no any harm from this word. So moving to the question part. So today's question is related to, consider the following statement. Your first statement is, the word sovereign was there in the original Constitution. So you have to be very careful that which word was in the original Constitution and which word were added later. And the second statement says that preamble is not a part of the Indian Constitution. There is also particular debate related to that preamble is a part of Indian Constitution or not, and Supreme Court has a particular opinion on this. So you have to study all these things, and then you have to answer this question. And here they are asking the correct statement, and your options are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So moving to the mains practice. So the mains question is how the Indian form of secularism is different from the Western form of secularism. So here you have to define Indian form of secularism and what are the essence. So you can start with the preamble, that in our preamble itself, the word secularism had been mentioned. So you can give the constitutional validity in your introduction part. Then you can also write the article 26, 27, 28, where every people have given right to profess their kind of faith and their kind of religion. So this is the introduction you can give about the Indian form of secularism. Then coming to the Western form of secularism. So what is the difference between Indian form of secularism and Western form of secularism? So you can also write your answer in this way, like you can make two columns. Here you can write Indian form of secularism and here you can write Western form of secularism. And then you have to define that, you know, what is difference between Indian form of secularism and Western form of secularism. So in India, the state and religion are not separate from each other. Here state is impartial and neutral towards religion, but it does not prohibit anyone to profess any kind of religion. And in public space also you can profess your religion. You have right to open institution related to your religion. Even the foreigners have right to open their institution and propagate their religion. So this is called an Indian form of secularism. On the other hand, in Western form, in most of the country, their state and religion are different thing. And in many countries also, you cannot profess your religion publicly. Religion is a very individual affair, and even foreigners were not given right to profess their religion in a public space. So this is a basic difference between Indian form of secularism and Western form of secularism. Then you can write more points related to the Indian form of secularism, just like Indian form of secularism promotes that tolerance should be there in the Indian society, and it also prohibits evils present in the religion. And in many times we have seen that in Supreme Courts, also in High Courts, if there is any practice which are harmful for the society and which are associated with the religion, that practice has been banned by the courts. So in this way, Indian form of secularism are also in a reformist nature. There they don't have any issues with any kind of religion. That's why they don't indulge in what are the practice they are practicing in the name of religion. So in a way that can be harmful also, because so many evil things are also practiced in the name of religion. But in India, it is also in a reformatory nature. So Supreme Court and various high courts reform religion from time to time. And it also promotes the positive relation with the state and the people. Here, religion is not a matter of state. It means that state is very impartial towards any religion. If you are Hindu, if you are following any sect, if you are not following any religion, it's also have this provision that you cannot follow any kind of religion, and you can be atheist also. So these kind of, positive signs we have in an Indian form of secularism, which is very absent from in the Western kind of secularism. So this is brief about today's lecture. I hope you like this lecture. If you have any queries related to this lecture, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.